An Amazon spokesperson says the company does not allow price gouging, and it has recently blocked tens of thousands of offers.
Have you heard of price gouging? It's when sellers charge a price that is higher than what is considered fair or reasonable, and commonly applies to necessities after a natural disaster. For example, after a blizzard, everybody wants to buy a shovel to remove the snow from their driveways, and the price of shovels increases significantly. Price gouging. The same happens to the price of flashlights during a blackout. In the aftermath of a hurricane, the prices of power generators and medical supplies might increase drastically. Price gouging. During the pandemic, the demand for face masks, hand sanitizers, and even toilet paper skyrocketed, and some sellers tried to charge much higher prices for those items. Price gouging. It is called price gouging because the seller is trying to gouge as much money from you as possible. People absolutely hate price gouging. They say it's unfair, it's greedy, it exploits people in the time of need. And poor people cannot buy those necessary items because they cost too much.
That ain't right.
In fact, in the United States, price gouging is illegal in 37 states. However, I would argue that hiking prices up in such situations is actually a good thing. Wait, what? Professor Shades, I thought you were a good guy, man. Hear me out. Listen with an open mind until the end, and then tell me if it makes sense.
Go with me on this, because I've thought it through.
First of all, let's deal with the fairness issue. In a free market, the price of an item is determined by supply and demand. There is no magical sign in the sky that says, "This is the fair price." The price depends on the situation, and if the situation changes, it makes sense for the price to change. This is not new, you've seen it before. If you try booking a flight back home around Christmas time, the price will be much higher than usual. And if you try booking a hotel room when there's an exhibition or a major sporting event in town, the room rate will be much higher than usual. Also note that the real value of something is what people are willing to pay for it. If I offer to sell you the snow shovel for $80 and you buy it, this means that you value the shovel more than your $80. Otherwise, you wouldn't make the exchange. So the snow shovel is literally worth $80. Now, if you still feel that it's unfair, especially when the items are categorized as necessities, I would still argue that hiking the prices up is the best way to help people who are desperate for these items to get them. Imagine this scenario. A hurricane hits your town, and you no longer have electricity, and you have a diabetic child, and you need electricity to keep his insulin refrigerated. Luckily, there's a man who has one of those power generators, and you heard that he's willing to sell it. But instead of selling it at the usual $1,000, he wants to sell it for $2,000. That greedy bastard. Our gut feeling tells us to hate this guy for charging a much higher price in the aftermath of a hurricane. But imagine he was selling it for the usual $1,000. Do you think the generator would have still been there when you wanted to buy it? Most likely, somebody else would have snatched it by then. Remember, you're not the only person who needs electricity. You see, high prices serve two functions. They discourage unnecessary demand and encourage more supply. Let me explain. If the price of the generator is high, some people might be discouraged from buying it. Like, do I really need the generator? And this frees up some generators for people who need them more and are willing to pay more. But if the price is low, more people would want to buy it. Hey, let's buy a power generator so we can watch TV and play video games. And soon enough, you can no longer find a generator. The higher prices also encourage people to supply more generators. An entrepreneur can buy power generators in a town that is not affected by the hurricane for $1,000 and sell them in your town for $2,000. The profit motivates him and others to do the same. So the supply of power generators in your town increases drastically. Now, more people can get their hands on the much-needed generators. Not only that, the increase in supply and competition between the sellers ultimately drives the price down, and now even more people can afford them. Indeed, in response to Hurricane Katrina, a man bought 19 generators and drove 600 miles to an area in Mississippi where they had no power and offered to sell the generators for twice what he paid for them. People were ready to buy. Oh, thank God. Please, sell us your generators. Great. Yeah, the police locked him up in jail and confiscated the generators because it was illegal. And the people who desperately needed those generators and were willing to pay the higher price were not able to get them.
Good job.
Hey guys, don't worry, we got your back. We are making sure that no one can charge you more for a generator. Of course, there are no generators for you, so you're gonna have to live without power. But by God, if we had a generator right now, the price would have been really good. Like, oh my God, the price would have been great. You are welcome. Genius policy. And now, other people are discouraged from bringing in generators from other areas. Why would you invest a lot of money to buy many generators and rent a U-Haul and drive 600 miles and go through all that trouble if you cannot make a good profit? Now, you might be thinking that people should buy generators from another town and bring it to the affected area and donate it to people. Well, that'll be great. If you can do that, God bless you. But very few people would do it. And it's not enough to solve the problem. You really do need the profit motive and the price mechanism to efficiently eliminate the shortage. As I said, higher prices discourage unnecessary demand and they encourage conservation. During a blackout, if the price of flashlights is low, your neighbor might buy several flashlights. I'll take one flashlight and one for my wife and one for little Timmy and one for little Jimmy and one for Kimmy and give me one for my maid and hell, give me one for my dog. I'll strap it on his head. He'll walk around with a flashlight. It'll be cute. It's cheap. And then you go to the store and try to buy a flashlight. They're all sold out. I'd like to buy a flashlight, please. We don't have that one. If the price of flashlights was jacked up, your jerk of a neighbor would probably have bought just one flashlight and shared it around his house. Same thing with toilet paper. If the prices are hiked up, hoarding would be discouraged. The same goes during a gas shortage. If you hike up the prices, people will conserve. They will only take essential trips. They might carpool. Some people might ride their bikes instead. Others will walk to the grocery store instead of drive. This will eliminate long queues at the gas station. And the people who really need to drive will be more willing to pay the higher price, and they're more likely to find gas at the stations. If you don't allow prices to be raised during a shortage, this is what typically happens. The first people in line buy a very large quantity, and the rest of the people end up staring at empty shelves. Some people will have many more items than they need, while others will not have any. To recap, hiking the prices up in such situations discourages unnecessary demand, encourages conservation, provides an incentive for increasing supply, it eliminates the shortage, and ensures that people who really need those items have a better chance of getting them. And ultimately, the price drops back once the supply increases. If after having watched my video, you still insist that we should not hike up prices, that's fine. You're entitled to your opinion. I respect that. But just remember, your recommendation has a major downside, that of causing a shortage whereby people who desperately need those items cannot get them. Remember this. High prices are better than empty shelves.
Say it one more time, Cat, for the people in the back.
High prices are better than empty shelves. If the price is low, but the item is not there, what's the point? We pride ourselves at selling toilet paper at the usual fair price. Great. Can I buy one, please? No, we don't have toilet paper. What are you, crazy? Okay, thank you. Do you agree with the ideas presented in this video? Do you disagree? Do you have a creative solution that can eliminate the shortage without hiking up the price? Let's discuss in the comment section below. The real value of something is I thought a pussycat. High prices serve two functions. Why am I gesturing with both hands? Two functions. This is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Either two functions or two functions. I would like to buy a snow shovel, please. Sir, this is a Wendy's.